All right, today we're going to look at multiplying by a monomial. Remember, a monomial is one term, and we're going to multiply that monomial using the distributive property. Now, we're also going to throw in some addition and subtraction from Monday and Tuesday, so we're going to spice things up a little bit today. Now, remember, when you add and subtract like terms, and you only add and subtract the coefficients. Leave the exponents alone. When you multiply, we get to mess with those exponents, don't we? So let's look at number 1. We have a times 4a plus 3. This is my monomial, and I'm multiplying it to a binomial. So I'm simply going to distribute a to both terms inside that parenthesis. So I'm going to multiply a times 4a, and I'm going to multiply a to positive 3. Now, multiply your coefficients. 1 times 4 is 4. And then multiply your variables, a times a. When you multiply with the same base, you add your exponents. So when you multiply a times a, remember that's a to the first times a to the first. Bring the a over and add the exponents. So a times 4a is 4a squared. When you multiply a times 3, that's just going to be 3a. So your final result is going to be 4a squared plus 3a. You get a degree 2, so that's quadratic, and 2 terms binomial, a quadratic binomial. Look at number 2. Same thing, you have a monomial to a binomial. 2y squared times y to the 5th, and 2y squared times negative 4y. Always use the sign in front. That's often forgotten. There's a negative in front of that 4, so make sure you use that. 2 times 1 is 2. When you multiply with the same base, add your exponents. 2 plus 5 is 7. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. When you multiply with the same base, add your exponents. 2 plus 1 is 3. So we have 2y to the 7th, and then negative 8y to the 3rd, so that'll be minus 8y to the 3rd. So we have a 7th degree binomial. Okay, let's distribute here, here, and here. So we're going to have 3r to the 4th times 5r squared, then 3r to the 4th times negative 1r, and then 3r to the 4th times 4. So 3 times 5 is 15, and then 4 plus 2 is 6. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. 4 plus 1 is 5. And then 3 times 4 is 12, and then r to the 4th. So I have 15 r to the 6th minus 3r to the 5th plus 12r to the 4th. So this is a 6th degree, and that's 3 terms, so that's a 6th degree trinomial. All right, let's go up here and look at number 5. That's a good problem because you have 2 variables involved. So we have the monomial negative 3mn, and we're going to multiply it to m squared n to the 3rd. Then we're going to multiply negative 3mn to 2mn. So let's write that down. Negative 3mn times m to the 2nd, n to the 3rd. Okay? Then we're going to multiply negative 3mn times 2mn. Let's do our thing. Negative 3 times 1, that's just going to be negative 3. Now let's multiply those m's. M times m to the 2nd. When you multiply with the same base, add your exponents. 1 plus 2 is 3. Same thing with our n's. 1 plus 3 is 4. Now let's go to the next one. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. M times m. 1 plus 1 is 2. With our n's, 1 plus 1 is 2. So we have negative 3 m to the 3rd, n to the 4th, minus I'm so sorry, I'm going to write this underneath, 6m squared n squared. Okay, so remember, you can multiply anything. They don't have to be like terms. You just have to make sure when you multiply with the same base, you add your exponents. Multiply the coefficients in front just like you would anything else. All right, now let's look at number 10. We have w to the third times 3w squared and times 2w. This is not in the parentheses, so do not multiply this. Since it's addition, we're going to save it for last. So we have w to the third times 3w squared, and then w to the third times 2w. 1 times 3 is 3. When you multiply with the same base, add your exponents. 3 plus 2 is 5. Right here, we have w to the third times 2w. 1 times 2 is 2. 3 plus 1 is 4. So we have 3w to the fifth plus 2w to the fourth. That's just the parenthesis. Don't forget this out here, kiddos. So plus 5w to the fourth. We've finished with our multiplication. We've got that completed, done, and now we have this. But if you'll notice, you have two like terms, 2w to the fourth plus 5w to the fourth. When you have like terms, you can add their coefficients. 2 plus 5 is 7w to the fourth. Notice I only added the coefficients. I did not change the exponent because this is multiplication. So bring down the 3w to the fifth, add 2 plus 5 to get 7, and you've got 3w to the fifth plus 7w to the fourth. That's a fifth degree binomial. So we were able to use our new skill of multiplication and then our skills from Monday and Tuesday to add those two together to get like terms. Let's do the same thing on 13. Let's distribute here and here. So we have 2x times 3x squared, and then we'll have 2x times 4. 2 times 3 is 6. When you multiply with the same base, add your exponents. And then 2 times 4 will give me just 8x. So I have 6x to the third plus 8x. That's my multiplication right there. This I need to stick on the back. Okay? Now, I don't see anything wrong with this where I can combine like terms, but I do see that it's not in standard form. So I need to take my 6x to the third and write it first. My 3x squared needs to come second, and my positive 8x needs to come third. So we have a degree 3, so that's cubic, and a trinomial. Cubic trinomial as our final answer. Okay, looking at number 16, I've got two multiplications, so let's do it. Now, 4b is being multiplied to this parenthesis. Okay, so I have 4 times 5, which is 20. b times b, 1 plus 1 is 2. Then I have 4 times negative 3 is negative 12, and then I just have my b. So my first parenthesis has a product of 20b squared minus 12b. Now I'm going to distribute this one. But do you see that minus sign in front of that 2? You have got to distribute that minus sign all the way through. So it's negative 2 times b squared. That's negative 2b squared. Then negative 2 times negative 7. That's positive 14b. Negative 2 times negative 4. That's positive 8. Now after I've done all of that, I need to simply combine my like terms. 20b squared and negative 2. So add them together. 20 plus negative 2 is positive 18. So that's going to be 18b squared. Then look at your b's. You've got negative 12 plus 14. That's positive 2. So positive 2b. And then the last thing that you should write is your constant term. So we have degree 2, so that's quadratic, 1, 2, 3, trinomial. So notice when I multiplied the coefficients and added my exponents for my variables. But when I got ready to add, the only thing that I would add is my coefficients in the front. I left my b squared, my b's, b's, and my constant, constants. Okay? So, on this worksheet, I'm going to let you finish these on the right side. Send those in. If you have any questions, let me know.